Well, I first was introduced to the union from my childhood friend. He started working with his father, which was a union member for 20-some years at that time. He told me that when I came out, I would eventually, within 4 years, make the same amount of money that his journeyman father was making. And that's all I needed to know.
I was pretty destructive in my life for a while and decided to just kind of scratch it all and just start fresh. And so I moved to Portland. My sister lived there. I struggled for about 3 months looking for work, and she suggested that I go to the Oregon's tradeswoman career fair, and I did. And as soon as I got there, I knew immediately that that was going to be the direction I went in. I didn't know which trade, but it felt right and resonated. And that day I met the people at the roofers booth and talked with them a little, and then saw them about a week later at another career fair, and they remembered my name, asked me how my job search was going, and invited me to come down to the union hall and to take the test, and I did, and that's the beginning.
My story really starts 5 years before I joined the union. I was enlisted in the Indiana National Guard. When I first really found out about the roofers and waterproofers union, at the time I was working non-union construction, I think making $12 an hour. No benefits, none whatsoever. No health insurance, no retirement. I was 22 years old.
I started out getting divorced, really. Had to find a way to take care of my kids, my family. I signed up for a class called West Virginia Women's Works. We took tours of all the different locals. So I collected with the business manager, with Joe Strain at the roofers.
I first heard about our union by driving around the city, seeing the union hall. Drove in, got some information, and got sent off over the apprenticeship program, which got a job 2 days later with a local contractor.
Well, I applied in one day, and I have to say the next day that I applied with my friend, I was working the next day.
I was the first girl in the class to actually sign up with somebody and get employment. He put me to work the next week.
It only took about 4 months for me to be an apprenticeship, and I got my first raise.
Tradition's important to me. My dad and both my grandparents my grandfathers that I knew were all union coal miners.
Both grandfathers being operating engineer, Teamsters, also both being in the military. I have several uncles and cousins, brother and sister that's in the military and then also in unions.
We had a good childhood growing up with my dad being in the coal miners union with the UMWA. A lot of people around us didn't have that.